Hello, and welcome to this audio redesign for League of Legends champion Kassadin. This is a challenge I've taken up with a fellow sound designer. I'll post his social media info below. And the challenge is to remake the audio for some champs in League of Legends. Now, I picked Kassadin because I wasn't quite sure where to actually start with his kit, so I figured it would be a great creative exercise. First, I'll go ahead and show you the finished product of the redesign for his Q, Nullsphere. This was a lot of fun to work on, and I wanted to make this video to share my process of how I go about making sound effects. Quickly, before getting into that, I also remade Kassadin's W, Netherblade. But for the W, I recorded the process without sound, so not very helpful for a video about sound design. Luckily, I fixed my mistake this time. This might be a good time also to add that this is my first time making a video like this, so any feedback or criticism is definitely appreciated. Alright, let's get started. First, I looked up Kassadin's lore. I think you can get a lot of great ideas here on how to establish some design pillars. So here I found out about his equipment, which gave me a lot of valuable information. And continuing on, I saw his main weapon, the Netherblade, was a weapon of the Void, which gave me my final pillar. I then associated general sounds with these important aspects of Kassadin's identity. And thus, the first part of the process is complete. Before I started on the next part of the process, I went ahead and bounced out the short Summoner's Rift ambience that I made for the W redesign and imported it into this project since this clip takes place in the same spot in the mid lane. This is what it sounds like. So next, I took a look at the different aspects of the ability itself that will need unique sounds. Having an animation already made makes things a lot easier to imagine, so I was able to break the ability into just a few key parts. Also, it was about here that I remembered that there's a short silence attached to his Q, so that's worth noting. And with that out of the way, I went ahead and jumped into the next step of importing sounds. So I pulled from a few different sound libraries here, one of which is sounds that I've collected myself, but one huge help was the free Sonus GDC bundle that has a huge collection of Foley to work with. I'll link that down below. And basically all I did was choose a bunch of different sounds that looked like they would pair well with the animations, and also based on their relation to the established pillars. So I'm going to end up with a lot of sci-fi themed sounds due to their synthy and technological nature. I also ended up throwing in some haunted voices to embody the souls lost in the void, and some snow/ice related sounds to hint towards that cold pool that was mentioned in the lore. I'll go ahead and play a few of the source sounds that I ended up importing. So now I have pretty much all the sounds that I'm going to need, running with the idea of bringing in more sounds than I'll probably use. So for ease of access, I went ahead and placed markers on all my important animation points, and with that, the third step is now complete. Now on to the fun part. I got started on placing sounds to my different animation points by just listening to the sounds and imagining where they might sound best. Once I placed the sounds, I began editing them to fit the animation and processing them to fit the design pillars. There were many processing techniques used, including but not limited to EQ, pitch shift, time shift, reverb, reverse, Doppler, distortion, delay, Lastly, I wanted to show you the separated animation sounds and how they all came together. And there you have it. I hope this video could be informative, interesting, or motivating for you all. I know having the challenge posed to me was a great motivator, so if you're trying to get into sound design, I would definitely recommend giving yourself a challenge like this. Thanks!